Thank you for listening to REED-BBS.
REED-BBS, BBS. Talk about Canelo versus Edgar Berlanga. They had a two-city press tour, NYC and LA, hyping their September 14th bout in Lost Wages, Nevada, during Mexican Independence Day weekend, 16 de septiembre. Canelo, 61, 2-2, 2-2, 39 KOs. The straw that stirs the drink in boxing. If boxing is a drink, let's call it a purple drink. So boxing is a purple drink, right? Canelo's the straw stirring that shit. Former undisputed super middleweight champion, former champion at super welterweight and middleweight as well, with a light heavyweight title on the side, in order of fries, and a light heavyweight title on the side. That Canelo Alvarez. But keeping it a buck, he's also a serial avoider, a serial ducker of El Monstruo, El Bandera Roja, David Benavidez. David Benavidez has become the shit stain on the back end of Canelo's otherwise Hall of Fame worthy career. But I digress. This ain't a Benavidez video. Edgar Berlanga it is on September 14th. And the mere fact that Edgar Berlanga warranted a two-city press tour, that speaks to the sheer enormity of Saul Canelo Alvarez. Motherfucker's big. I mean, ain't no getting around it. We can like or dislike his opponent choices, his opponent selection of late. But motherfuckers gonna watch. Motherfuckers gonna watch. Now, with that said, I ain't mad at Berlanga's shirtless look. His shirtless, blinged out look. I wasn't mad at all at the presser, the New York presser. Now, my man, he could have done a couple more sit-ups, a couple more crunches, bruh. Could we have worked in couple more curls, you think? But overall, I'm not mad at the attitude behind it, the statement of it all, at all. I ain't mad at that. And in fact, he shouldn't have put his shirt back on. When the presser first started and they had the initial stare down, there Berlanga was shirtless. And then by the time he's on the mic speaking, he had his shirt back on. He should have kept his shit off. Fuck it, should have just went all the way with it. And especially when you're an arrogant asshole like Canelo is, Mr. I do what I want to do. Again, like I said, the straw that stirs the drink in boxing. When you're that guy and an opponent, a hand-picked opponent, motherfucker brought in to lose, then he shows up shirtless, talking shit to you. You talking about audacity. I love it. I love it. Berlanga, he's 22-0, 17 KOs. He got on the radar by virtue of a first-round KO streak. My man knocked out his first 16 straight in the first round. That was his intro to the boxing world. Next thing you know, Fat Joe, he let Berlanga ride the Terror Squad bandwagon. He allowed Berlanga to lean back all the way up into the bandwagon, the Fat Joe bandwagon. So of course, Berlanga was gonna name drop Fat Joe during the presser. I mean, anyone that knows who Berlanga is knows he kicks it with Fat Joe. So Berlanga can't do any type of public setting deal, especially against Canelo. He's got to mention Fat Joe because that's part of what makes Berlanga Berlanga. During the course of all that, Berlanga killed any and all David Benavidez and or TerenceCrawford versus Canelo noise. He killed it all. Berlanga was defending his spot, his shot, and he wasn't apologizing for sitting in the seat he's occupying September 14th. My man said people bitched about him facing cab drivers when he was knocking everybody out, and now they're bitching about him facing Canelo Alvarez. And to that, I say fair point. Fair point, bruh. Now, the Canelo fangirls, and you know who you are, they'll tell you, hey, man, it's just a stay busy fight. You know, it's a name opponent. And he's not trying to compete with the mighty UFC. You know, UFC's in town the same fucking night, man. They at the Sphere and shit. The latest, greatest Vegas venue, the low-risk, high-reward fight, man. That's what it is. Cut Canelo some slack. Fuck that. I ain't cutting him no slack. Motherfucker been cherry-picking since Bevo, which even Turkey a la Sheik put him on blast for doing. We know what it is. You Canelo fangirls need to wake the fuck up and realize, yes, his shit does stink. His shit does stink. On that note, Canelo's never seemed more at ease or relaxed or unthreatened by an opponent standing in close proximity to him. Berlanga whispering threats and half-assed promises in Canelo's ear, and then Canelo smiling, damn near laughing in Berlanga's face, gyrating, thrusting his hips and shit. That's why this fight is bullshit. Look in the eyes of your hero and look at the seriousness with which he isn't taking Berlanga. That's why this fight is bullshit. Even with Caleb Plant, who's not the most threatening looking guy, don't get it twisted, Caleb Plant slapping the shit out of people, as we've learned. But he ain't the most threatening looking man in the world on the surface. Nonetheless, when Canelo was in a face-off with Plant, Canelo was tense to the point of initiating an altercation with Plant. Speaking of Plant, Berlanga called out Caleb, who's on the undercard, along with Irislandi Lara and Danny Garcia, another interesting fight. But yeah, Berlanga's calling out Caleb and shit, and Canelo intervened and said, I'm going to take care of him for you, Caleb. I'm going to take care of him for you, Caleb. Caleb, I'm going to take care of him for you. Then he said to Berlanga, I don't want to fuck you up right now because your money is gone. Like, motherfucker, I'll whoop your ass right now. I could. I want to whoop your ass right now, but then you ain't getting paid because it ain't going to be no fight. So I get it. I was much more entertained by the Canelo Berlanga press conference than I wanted to be. And I'll probably be more entertained by the fight than I want to be. You got a guy with a puncher's chance, 16 straight first round KOs. You can say what you want about the quality of who Berlanga was knocking out. When you doing motherfuckers in the first motherfucking round, that means something. I'm sorry. So you got the puncher's chance versus the impenetrable beard. You got Canelo promising no compassion. For those who say he carried, again, it was the Canelo fangirl saying he carried McGill. Canelo saying ain't gonna be none of that. Well, if you're gonna do that and fight that way, you're gonna leave your chin to be touched by a guy who can crack a little bit. So the fight should be somewhat intriguing in that sense. Although Berlanga has me kind of worried, constantly referencing boxing IQ. This is gonna be mental. It's not gonna be physical. It's gonna be who's smarter, who has the better IQ. That's not you, bruh. Canelo's one of the smarter fighters of this era. His IQ and your IQ, no, they'll never be in the same stratosphere. It's like the tool shared analogy I make with TerenceCrawford. You don't want to go mental with Canelo, Berlanga, you don't. But yeah, I'll watch the fight, and you will too. We're not going to like it, but we're going to watch it, and it does promise to be at least entertaining for as long as it lasts. I don't need to predict this when some fights predict themselves, so it is what it is. REED-BBS, BBS. Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Television, Fred Sanford of the Fisticards. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say